Number 20, My Sister, Juliana Hatfield 3. Juliana Hatfield was part of multiple notable alternative rock bands, including Blake Babies and the Lemonheads. However, arguably her most recognized work was with her own band, the Juliana Hatfield 3.
But I am only talking to myself, she is here.
Lyrically, Hatfield's most successful single is about loving one's female sibling, even with her flaws. However, Hatfield isn't exactly singing from personal experience, as she doesn't actually have any biological sisters.
I love my sister, she's the best.
But that doesn't diminish how much raw emotion Hatfield and the rest of the band put into this song. You might not want to sing it at your sister's wedding, but you cannot deny the feelings it conjures.
I miss my sister, I miss my sister.
Number 19, Down, Stone Temple Pilots. Stone Temple Pilots are rightfully recognized as one of the best bands of their era. But their late 90s work deserves as much appreciation as their early 90s material. Case in point, Down.
Nice to meet you. Nice to know me.
Released at the end of the decade, this Grammy-nominated single defied the notion that grunge was a flash-in-the-pan sound. Built on thundering riffs and beats that should appeal to most any metalhead, Down is Stone Temple Pilots getting down and dirty, with great results.
What's the message? Where you show me?
Scott Weiland's shift between a seductive whisper and a raging bellow lends plenty of atmosphere to a track already full of it. And we cannot forget Dean DeLeo's scorching guitar solo either. If you're looking for an incredible blast of pure 90s rock energy, turn up Down. Number 18, Free to Decide, The Cranberries. Iconic tracks like Linger and Zombie made the Cranberries a beloved band, and their accomplishments did not stop there.
It's not worth anything more than this at all.
Like many popular bands, the Cranberries had to deal with their share of scrutiny and negative attention. But they didn't take it lying down. Free to Decide finds the band fighting back and fighting hard.
So to have with what you're thinking, and to have with your not remind.
Dolores O'Riordan addresses her critics head-on, letting them know that she's gonna do what she wants to do, not what anyone else thinks she should. While she's not the first artist to address this topic, few have done it with the same level of passion and beauty. Anyone seeking to assert their independence and embrace personal freedom should listen to this song. Number 17, Feel the Pain, Dinosaur Jr. Though the classic Dinosaur Jr. lineup reunited in the 2000s, they went through some drama in the early years.
I feel the pain of everyone.
Without a Sound was the first Dino Jr. album to only feature one original member, singer and guitar wizard Jay Mascis. On this song, he showed how much he could do, even without his old bandmates around. Feel the Pain is short on specifics but heavy on resonance.
Is it up to me?
Mascis sings about absorbing others' anguish and the resulting emptiness with undramatic frankness. If that sounds like too much of a downer, he also makes sure to bring in some marvelous guitar and drum work. It might not get you out of a negative mood entirely, but it will hopefully help you feel a little less alone.
Just try and keep it clean.
Number 16, Seether, Veruca Salt. Though grunge and bubblegum pop might seem like they're genres inherently at odds with each other, skilled artists know how to fuse them together.
See, there is neither loose nor tight.
Case in point, Veruca Salt, who showed that they could be catchy without being sanitized on this song. Seether is truly a song for when you're seething. Addressing the needlessly taboo topic of female anger, Seether turns rage into a living being that cannot be vanquished or ignored.
I try to rock her in my cradle. I try to knock her out.
Anger is a natural emotion that should be dealt with in a constructive manner. And this song is a prime example of those feelings being processed through pure creative energy.
Can't fight the Seether. Can't fight the Seether.
Number 15, Ploud, Sponge. While they might not be the most famous musicians out of Detroit, these rockers still made an impression on the charts.
Will I wake up some dream I made up?
Their biggest hit, Ploud, feels like it's driving itself into your mind from beginning to end. Once the momentum starts, it doesn't let up, with raspy frontman Vinny Dombrowski and the rest of the band giving it their all on verses and chorus alike.
In a world of human records.
Although the lyrics aren't exactly cheerful, they aren't totally despondent either. Ploud is a song for taking what life throws at you and plowing on ahead.
Ploud into the sound.
Number 14, Midlife Crisis, Faith No More. Faith No More got to the #1 spot on the Modern Rock Tracks chart with a song reportedly inspired by another chart topper. Originally, this song was known as Madonna. And while it doesn't name-check or even allude to the Queen of Pop, it does show Faith No More's ability to take inspiration from various sources to create something truly unique. With its blend of metal, hip-hop, and prog, Midlife Crisis seems like it should be an unholy mess. But there's a method behind this madness, particularly in frontman Mike Patton's full-bodied vocal performance. If only real midlife crises could be as invigorating as this song. Number 13, I'm Afraid of Americans, David Bowie. Speaking of midlife crises, some might think a veteran artist delving into trendy sounds like industrial and drum and bass is a cry for help.
Johnny's in America, no tricks at the wheel.
But David Bowie was not just any artist. Known for his chameleonic shifts between genres and personas, Bowie proved he was as vital in the 90s as he was in the 70s and 80s with I'm Afraid of Americans. A collaboration with longtime creative partner Brian Eno, this song finds Bowie doing what he does best while also trying new things.
Johnny's in America, Johnny looks up at the stars.
The result is something that feels both timeless and forward-thinking, much like all of his best work. Bowie might have been afraid of Americans, but we're afraid of a world without this song.
I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world.
Number 12, Supernova, Liz Phair. There's no champagne in the Supernova, but it's still plenty special. On this irresistible cut from her second album, Liz Phair sings about falling in love. But this isn't just any love song. Supernova has Phair talking about the object of her affection with unabashed enthusiasm.
Walk in clouds of glitter and the sun reflects your eyes.
Though there's talk of things like physical attributes and bedroom skills, the song manages to avoid vulgarity. Instead, it manages to be both effortlessly cool while also heartwarming in its enthusiasm and energy. If you've ever been madly in love, you probably know exactly what Phair is talking about here. Number 11, Pardon Me, Incubus. Though Incubus had been around for much of the 90s, it was the end of the decade when things really started to pick up for them.
A decade ago, I never thought I would be at 23 on the verge of spontaneous combustion. Woe is me.
Their first charting single, Pardon Me, was written at a particularly tumultuous time for Brandon Boyd. And learning about the disturbing concept of spontaneous human combustion helped him to bring this song to life.
Pardon me while I burst into flames.
Its title might sound polite and unassuming, but Pardon Me is anything but. Instead, it is a striking study of early 20s alienation and confusion that's moody, unhinged, and brilliant in equal measure. And even if you've made it through a tough period of your life, it should still strike a chord. Number 10, Black Balloon, Goo Goo Dolls.
Baby's black balloon makes a fly.
When people think of the Goo Goo Dolls, their minds inevitably drift to Iris, the band's record-breaking power ballad from 1999. However, that was far from their only 90s-era hit, as proven by the brilliance that is Black Balloon. The song, which tells the story of a desperate man's attempts to get his lover off heroin, peaked at number 16 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts, but never quite matched the hype of Iris. And that's not exactly a surprise, as Black Balloon is modest in its approach, telling a very different kind of story.
I become, you became
Number 9. Uninvited, Alanis Morisette.
Like anyone would be.
Released in 1998, Uninvited sold more than 7 million copies, peaked at number 1 on the Billboard Top 40, and earned Morissette 3 Grammy nominations. She won 2 of them, as well as picking up a Golden Globe nomination for Best Original Song.
But you're not allowed.
You're probably wondering how anyone could forget how awesome this alt-rock classic is. And to answer that, we have 3 words: Jagged Little Pill. The Canadian singer's breakthrough album produced a slew of iconic tracks, and more often than not, they're the ones that make it onto the web's best songs of the 90s lists. But we've never forgotten this subtle and mysterious tune, and continue to play it whenever we can.
I don't think you unworthy.
Number 8. Popular, Not a Surf.
3 important rules for breaking up. Don't put off breaking up when you know you want to.
Popular was extremely popular when it first hit the airwaves back in 1996. The track not only served as the obligatory party anthem for teenagers everywhere, but also helped to drive Not a Surf's debut album to number 63 on the Billboard charts. While the band went on to release 8 additional albums, none of their songs was able to capture the hearts of music lovers quite like Popular. Peaking early has been the curse of many bands throughout the years, and Not a Surf appears to have suffered a similar fate. As such, we doubt many of you had this track in mind when our video began. Number 7. My Own Worst Enemy, Lit.
Can we forget about the things I said when I was drunk?
Featuring a driving guitar riff that would blow people's hair back in any decade, My Own Worst Enemy is as awesome today as it was when it was released in 1999. How people forget about this track is a bit of a mystery, as it's pretty much got it all. Relatable lyrics, a memorable hook, and a pop-punk sound that, while dated, has never lost its flavor. Nevertheless, it's a throwback that often seems to be overlooked. My Own Worst Enemy remains one of the band's most successful tracks, and for good reason. Number 6. Take a Picture, Filter. The second single released off of their sophomore album Title of Record, Take a Picture dominated the airwaves soon after its release in the fall of 1999. The dreamy lyrics were inspired by lead singer Richard Patrick's own experiences of not being able to remember his drunken escapades and asking his girlfriend at the time to, quote, take my picture because I won't remember. We're gonna go ahead and attribute the fact that people forget all about this song to Filter's lack of a follow-up hit in the ensuing years. With that being said, Take a Picture is still a blast to listen to thanks to its ubiquitous sound and catchy chorus. Number 5. Inside Out, Eve 6.
I would swallow my pride, I would choke on the rinds, but the lack thereof would leave me empty inside.
Winning Grammys and breaking records is all well and good, but what's most important is having good lyrics and a catchy melody. Thankfully for Eve 6, their 1998 alt-rock song Inside Out had both in spades.
I would swallow my pride, I would choke on the rinds, but the lack thereof would leave me empty inside.
Like, come on, how can you not absolutely love a line like, wanna put my tender heart in a blender, watch it spin around to a beautiful oblivion? The heartfelt delivery of Max Collins' eclectic lyrics, combined with the track's driving rhythm, made Inside Out one of the 90s most addictive songs. Number 4. What It's Like, Everlast.
I've seen a man at the liquor store begging for your change.
6 years after dropping one of the most iconic party tracks of all time with Jump Around, House of Pain co-founder Everlast decided to branch out on his own. As a solo artist, he took his sound in an entirely new direction, and the result was songs like What It's Like.
Then you really might know what it's like.
A fusion of rock, blues, and hip-hop, the song introduces listeners to 3 different characters, all of whom are suffering in one way or another. This melancholy track surprised the music world by being one of the most successful crossover songs of the year. Number 3. Sex and Candy, Marcy Playground.
Hanging round downtown by myself.
The second single off their eponymous 1997 debut album, Sex and Candy proved to be the band's only major hit. But what a hit it was. The atmospheric track about well, we don't really know what it's about, propelled the band to the top of the Modern Rock Tracks chart, a spot they held for a then record 15 weeks.
I smell sex and candy here.
The song features a slow backbeat and some seriously cryptic lyrics, but that just makes the case for Sex and Candy's effortless coolness even stronger. You may still hear it on the radio from time to time, a testament to its staying power.
Yeah, mama, this must be my dream.
Number 2, Only Happy When It Rains, Garbage.
I'm only happy when it rains.
If you lived through the 90s, then you will definitely remember this iconic alt-rock track. Only Happy When It Rains was a hit with fans and critics alike, with one going so far as to quip, quote, "If you're not playing this, you don't have a pulse." The highlight of the track is unquestionably Shirley Manson's vocal performance, which seemingly affirms the grunge music scene of the era. But once you dig a little deeper, you'll find a song that is mocking grunge, alt-rock, and even garbage themselves. The song was a sign of things to come for a band that would ultimately be nominated for 7 Grammys. Number 1, Jumper, Third Eye Blind.
I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend.
Coming in at number 1 is a song whose brilliance should never be forgotten. Jumper has a message that's as relevant today as it was in 1998. It's dark, uplifting, sentimental, and catchy all at the same time. A song that's equally at home being played loudly in the car or on an acoustic guitar around a campfire.
We could cut ties with all the lies that you've been living in.
The song remains one of Third Eye Blind's most successful, having peaked at number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100. It's the earnest lyrics and smile-inducing melody that make Jumper a 90s classic, not awards or commercial recognition.
I would understand.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.